Hi guys, and a very warm welcome back to new Sandling Junction. Now this is just a little update just before I meet as many of you as possible at the Get Show at the weekend. So let's roll that intro and let's see what it's all about. Hi guys, and a warm welcome back. Now as I said just now, it is just a little update because a few things have been happening this week, but I am in the process of getting ready, as so many of you are, for the Great Electric Train Show at Milton Keynes at the weekend. I am busting a gut to get there. It really is so exciting. I'm also, of course, as you all know, going to be meeting up with Julian, and we're going to have a blast for the weekend, and we're going to meet so many people up there. I hope people that we follow on YouTube and those who follow us. So it's going to be exciting, and I did try and save all my money for Gets, but as you'll find out in this video, I didn't quite manage to do that. But I have got a t-shirt thing with my totem, my logo, new Sandling Junction on there, so you can see who I am when I'm about. If you want to approach, tap me on the shoulder, say hi, it'd be great to meet you. Now the other thing is that what have I been doing? Well, not a lot's been happening out there, but this has all been changed here. When I first did it, I'm embarrassed to say this, but when I did it in a very quick rush, and I used track pins, and I never really used track pins in the past, and I did it for No Name Junction carefully, but this was too rushed, and the trains were going like this. It was terrible. It was a nightmare, and I thought I'd be too embarrassed to even let Julian see the track laid in such a terrible way. So I took all this apart in the last few days and glued down track and got it all ready. So that's now up and running, and we have trains that run in a lovely even line down there. It's not a big thing, but it's something that I wanted to do. I haven't built any more tables out there, but I've put a little clip in there to show you where we are with all of that. But moreover, I went on Sunday to my local model railway club. Now normally I would do a video of many of the layouts there that interest me personally and put them out on a standalone video for you guys to enjoy. But I only went on the Sunday, and I had a mission. I had a problem with my DR5000, my DigiKey system, and I had no idea. It was coming on, all the lights were on, but no one was at home. And I sort of have friends there. Now, I got to put a big shout out for Roxley Models. Now, if any of you guys out there know of Roxley Models in Surrey, the owner is David, and the support act and a very, very big part of it are Aidan and James. And those two guys I have come to know as friends over the last few years since I got into model rail. And they were my first port of call, because I bought the DigiKeys off those guys a couple of years ago. Never really got to use it. Started using it to catalogue my locos, but I never actually used it on Sandling Junction as a whole, because soon after I got it, of course, Sandling, as you all know, was taken apart. So it's been sitting in a box. I got it out the other day, turned it on, did a few things, the lights were coming on, and as I said, no one was at home. It just would not work. And so anyway, I made a plan to go and see these guys and at Roxley on their stand at the show. And sure enough, we discovered the problem, and I'd sort of melted it inside somewhere. Hopefully it's going to be a recoverable situation. My fingers are firmly crossed. Unfortunately, DigiKeys, as we all know, have gone bust, so there's no help from that quarter. But I do understand that there are a couple of other units that are coming out, and they are superseding the original DR5000, but at the same time there is also an upgrade to the original DR5000 that you can buy. And if my unit, the chip, can be recovered, can be working again, and make it, albeit there's a little bit of a melt spot in the casing, I'll live with that. But if they can do that, they surely will, and hopefully we will have a working DR5000. But that's primarily why I went, and I had not planned to spend a penny. I gotta say that. My plans were to go there, do that, have a look around, enjoy the show, and come home without having spent anything at all. I wanted to save it all for the Great Electric Train Show, and yeah, well, that was a big fail. You'll see during the course of this video what I bought and why I bought it, and also I have just bought the latest 9F that has come out from Hornby, and that has got the new chip system in it as we speak, so I'm expecting that to be delivered today. So that will be fantastic if that turns up, and I will get to play with it this evening when I come home from work to see how it sounds and how it works and how it goes before I head off to Milton Keynes in the morning. So if you're seeing this, I may already be up at Milton Keynes, or you may already have tapped me on the shoulder having spotted me, and anyway, whatever, I'm gonna leave you to watch the video now and catch you all at the weekend. I hope. Look forward to it, can't wait. It's gonna be a blast. All the best to you all. Take care for now. Bye bye. Okay, just a little update and a little insight to what's been going on. I've done no more to the actual tables, although I'm really tempted to. I wanted to put that one in right up the back there. I may still do that before Julian turns up, if I get a chance one evening before I leave to go to Getz at the end of this week. But I had a little test track in the other room, as you well know, and I've been running my trains up and down that. Now when I did it, I used some old track and I pinned it with Hornby pins, and it looked like the Himalayas. It was terrible. And the locos or carriages would go up and down as they, in the little bit of area that they had, and wheels were missing, and it was terrible. It was really embarrassing. So I ripped it all off, and if you look down there, if I just pull in very, very gently, you can see the mass of tangled rail that I ripped off. It was absolutely no good, so that's consigned to the bin. I saved most of the ties because they come in useful for infill, but then I have just been relaying some of the lesser pieces of track, not my good track. There's what's left of my very good track along with the new stuff that I'm waiting to use, but I have just laid some remnants down to give me a lovely flush surface. So tomorrow I will put that back together and solder on some droppers. Only going to put the droppers up one end. There's no need to do any more, I don't think. The last one had just the droppers feeding from one end only, and that was more than sufficient. So that's all I'm going to do. And so I've got a little bit of running space to play around with, certainly for the short time. Anyway, back to the rest of the video. Okay, so this is the lovely end-to-end branch line layout called Hive. Now it belongs to the Folkestone Model Railway Club or Society, but it is the one that I saw back in 2017 that really just blew me away, because it is, as faithful as can be, a depiction of how the Hive branch line station used to look before one of the lines were taken up in 1931 or 37, I'm not quite sure, and then later the last of the lines was taken up from Sandling Junction through to Sandgate in 1951, I believe. I've got that right, but please by all means correct me if I'm wrong. But I really love this layout, and that beautiful signal box perched right on the edge there of the road bridge that the train passes over. And I found that that was one of the key things I really loved, because I know the hills, I know the roads, and those ramparts at the beginning of the station are still there today. You can still see them. Although there is a lovely housing estate that's been built over the whole area, the original ramparts still exist, and although the infrastructure as such has all by now long gone, but I just had to share this with you because it's not always out on show. There's that signal box again. I love it. I love the way it looks and the different approach roads. So I'm jumping off topic, but you've got different approach roads that come up from Hythe Town itself and sort of end up at this situation. There used to be a tram service way off as well that used to come up the hill with a horse-drawn tram taking passengers from Hythe up the hill to the station. That was way before the period of time that this actually is working in. But you can see the station and you can see how the run round loops would have worked back in the day. And yeah, I just loved it. Anyway, that is what I wanted to show you, what I wanted to share with you guys. It's a marvelous little layout, and it's the one that literally inspired my layout, Sandling Junction, before I tore it up. And although there's a scant regard to some of this in the new Sandling Junction, it is nowhere near what I had planned originally. But I'll just let you watch a little bit of this and enjoy it. Enjoy the process. Of course, some hill sheep and everything else. Some of these hills are quite steep as they go up, and there's that rampart. You can see how that's been faithfully reproduced in this model, and it's still there today. You can see it now. The bridge support on the other side where that 33's just come over, that obviously at some point was lowered down for other housing, but you can actually still walk the ridge of this line all the way through to Sandling Junction, including the tunnels. So yeah, if you're ever down this way, you can actually sort of walk along the ridge line where the rail used to be set. And as I say, the bridge support on one side is there, but not the other side that's been reduced. But you, as I say, and I keep saying, I just love it. It's just a fantastic layout. Anyway, enough of that. What I also wanted to talk about was the fact that I really enjoyed that show. There was an awful lot of stuff on offer. The trade stones, as always, were there in force and selling second-hand and new locomotives, rolling stock and track work and all these different things that you might need for a model railway. So that was always good. And of course, the final thing, as I said earlier, that I went to see my friends at Roxy Models to get me out of trouble. And I also ended up spending on a brand new Hornby 9F with sound. So yeah, it was really good, but the guys were busy all day long. That's Aidan and James in the picture now. I think the owner, David, wasn't around at the point of taking this little bit of footage, but Aidan is just a whiz and James backs him up, and they are just a great pair to get problem solving sorted out. And if you're ever near to a show where Roxley models are, you're always assured of a good deal. Hi guys, and a warm welcome back. Now I've just got through telling you, or showing you at least, that lovely end-to-end layout at the Folkestone Model Railway Club this last weekend. Now I went, as I said, on the Sunday. When I saw it was up and running, I wanted to share some information about that with you, in as much as I've already said, it was the layout that inspired the original Sandling Junction. But when I went to the show, it was merely to see a few old friends, shake a few hands as it were, and have a great day out. And I did plan to spend absolutely no money at all. Rather, I was going to save it all for the Get show, and see what came up there and have a bit of fun there when I meet Julian and everybody else at that show. But when I saw these and one other locomotive, I couldn't resist. So what have I got? Well, I've got a Black 5. This is Black 5. This is a Bachmann Stania Black 5 44908. And yeah, you guessed it, I bought a second one. And this is another Stania Bachmann 45253. Now both of these units are early Crest BR, and they have both been hardwired very well, I have to say, and sound has been fitted. Now I got them not because I wanted to add them to my fleet, because we all know the Black 5 really didn't put any appearances down on the southern lines. But the other thing you also know, I love to weather stuff, and I love to weather black locomotives, and I love to weather them in the state of sort of heavy traffic. I love that sort of dirty, grimy, lackluster look that many locomotives suffered in time, over time, and I just felt that the Black 5 might be a great candidate. And that was further reinforced because I've been watching a few videos by a lady who I discovered, which I think quite a few people are now aware of, by the name of J Loco. Now I think her name is Jenny, not too sure about that. Sorry Jenny if I got that wrong. But she has I suppose a real deep love affair, as it were, with the Stania Black 5. And when I started looking at some of the videos that she was putting out, I felt that the Black 5 was really much a workhorse on the lines, the London, Midland and Scottish Railway. So I started looking into it a little bit more, and I felt, you know, these would make great candidates to weather up and maybe sell on into the market at a little increased price because of the work that's gone into them. So that's what I'm going to do. I bought these not to keep at Sandling, because obviously they don't fit in with my location, but rather to do a couple of weathering videos on them to share the processes that I go through to create the look, to create the weathering effect on the locomotive, and then put that out on my YouTube channel here, and then probably sell the results into eBay, or, well, indeed, if somebody gets in touch with me, I can sell it privately. I don't mind which way it goes. Now what I can't show you today, and I really wanted to, but circumstances were such that I couldn't, is I've just bought the latest Hornby 9F retooled, redone with one of the new Hornby Bluetooth style chips inside. Now that was fitted for me, but we couldn't quite download the sound file because of the poor reception for Wi-Fi, so it had to be taken away, and it will be sent to me in a few days. Now that was a bit of an extravagant purchase in a way, but I really did fancy the look of it, and I know the people who sold it to me, Roxley Models from Surrey, have a great friendship with the guys there, Aidan and James, and the owner David, and lovely bunch of people, really helpful, can't do enough for you. I've already said that in the video earlier, but it's true. So anyway, they've got it, and it's going to be sent to me. It's all done now, so it's going to be in the post to me, and I should have that by Thursday evening, just before I leave forget. So at least I'll get it out the box and hear it before I go any further. Anyway, enough of that. I don't want this video to be too long, but yes, look out for this one and this one in due course as a video, standalone videos, one maybe two, showing the processes, and I will try and obviously make them very different to each other so that they will appear and appeal to the wider audience out there, especially if you model on the LMS line. There you go. Take care, catch you all very soon. Bye bye.